Goldilocks, Goldilocks went to see three bears. She walked in while they were out and sat down on their chairs. Goldilocks, Goldilocks, in a naughty mood, started snooping all around and tasted all their food. Here and there she started leaping, almost lost her head. Bears came home and found her sleeping in their private beds. Goldilocks, Goldilocks, that's no way to play. Don't go into strangers' homes, better keep away.
Hello, boys and girls. Did you ever hear a clock talk? Well, you're going to hear one now. I'm a grandfather's clock, and I live in the home of 3 bears, Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear. One day, just before breakfast, they all went out in the woods to visit their grandfather, who lived in a little house on a big hill. While they were gone, a little girl with golden hair walked up to the door of the house and looked through the window. Her name was Goldilocks, and she had a wonderful doll that talked, whose name was Priscilla. When Goldilocks saw that no one was home, she said to her doll,
"Priscilla, there's no one at home. Do you think we should go in? I'm tired and would like to rest a while."
"I'm sure no one would mind, as long as we don't take anything."
"Oh, I wouldn't think of taking anything that didn't belong to me."
"Well, let's go in."
So Goldilocks and Priscilla went into the house, and when Goldilocks looked around, she saw 3 bowls of porridge on the table. One was a large red bowl, the second a medium-sized yellow bowl, and the third a tiny little blue bowl. They looked very inviting, and she was hungry, so she said to her doll,
"Priscilla, I'm so hungry. Do you think it would be wrong if I tasted a teeny bit of the porridge?"
"Well, not if you take just a teeny weeny bit."
So Goldilocks took a little taste of the big red bowl. When she tasted it, she said,
"This porridge is too hot and too salty."
Then she tasted the porridge in the second yellow bowl.
"This porridge is too cold and too sweet."
And so she tasted the porridge in the little blue bowl and said,
"Oh, this one is just right and delicious. Yummy, yum, yum."
And little Goldilocks ate up all the porridge in the little blue bowl.
I didn't mean to eat it up, but it tasted so good, and I was so hungry I couldn't help it.
"No harm done. Let's take a look at the next room."
When they walked into the next room, they found it was the living room, and there they saw 3 chairs, one big red chair, one middle-sized yellow chair, and a tiny little blue chair.
Oh, what nice chairs. I'm so tired. I think I'll sit down on this big red chair.
Goldilocks sat in the big chair, but it didn't fit her. Then she tried the middle-sized yellow chair, and that was too big. Finally, she sat down on the little blue chair, and crash! It broke into 1,000 pieces.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to break this chair, but I was so tired. I had to sit down someplace, and this little chair looked like the best. I'm so tired.
"Well, let's find the bedroom."
So they walked upstairs, and there was a bedroom with 3 pretty beds. One was a large red bed, one a medium-sized yellow bed, and the third was a tiny little blue bed. First, she tried the big red bed and found it too high. Then she tried the medium-sized yellow bed and found it too hard. Finally, she climbed into the little blue bed, and it was so soft and comfortable that she fell fast asleep right away. Off to slumberland she went. Just about that time, the Papa Bear, the Mama Bear, and the little Baby Bear returned home. When they walked through the door, Papa Bear said,
I'm hungry as a bear.
Well, you are a bear.
So I am. I guess that's why I'm hungry. Ha ha ha!
Papa made it funny.
I'm hungry, and I'm going to eat my porridge.
And as Papa Bear picked up his big red bowl, he said,
Someone has been eating my porridge. It's all upset.
And someone has been eating my porridge, too. It's all upset.
Gosh and gee, someone has been in my porridge and has eaten it all up.
So they have. What do you know? I wonder who it could be. I'm tired. I'm going into the living room and sit down.
So they all went into the living room. And when Papa Bear saw his big red chair, he said,
Someone has been sitting in my big red chair.
And someone has used my yellow chair, too.
Oh, and look at my little blue chair. It's broken into thousands of pieces.
This is getting serious. Somebody's been in the house. Let's go upstairs in the bedroom and look around.
So the three bears walked upstairs into the bedroom. And first Papa Bear looked at his big red bed and said,
Someone has slept in my bed.
And someone has slept in my bed.
And when the little Baby Bear looked in her bed, she cried,
Look, Daddy, look, Mommy. Someone is sleeping in my bed. It's a pretty little girl with golden locks.
The voices awakened Goldilocks. When she opened her eyes and saw the three bears, she was so frightened she jumped off the bed, ran down the stairs and out of the house, running all the way home. And she forgot all about Priscilla, her doll.
Look, she left her little doll.
Please, don't hurt me. And don't blame Goldilocks. She just tasted your porridge because she was hungry, sat in your chairs because she was tired, and laid down to sleep in this bed because she was sleepy. She meant no harm.
What do you know? A talking doll. Don't be frightened, little doll. We won't hurt you. So it was Goldilocks. I know her. She lives in that little house at the other end of the forest. Come, little doll, we'll take you home to her.
So they brought Priscilla back to Goldilocks' house. And do you know what? They became such good friends that they visit each other every week. And when they visit Goldilocks, the little Baby Bear sleeps in a special little bed next to Goldilocks. And when she visits the three bears, she sleeps in a special bed they built for her in the little bear's room. And they all lived happily ever after.
Cinderella, Cinderella, Cinderella never had a fella. It was really most alarming. Would she ever meet her real Prince Charming? At the prince's birthday ball, she outshone them one and all, caused the handsome prince to fall. That's not all. Cinderella and her fella fell in love like lovers always do. And her handsome prince, he was convinced, he knew he loved her too. They were married and all their dreams came true.
Hello, boys and girls. Do you know who I am? You'll never guess. I am a fairy godmother, but a real one. And I have a real godchild, too. Her name is Cinderella. and she lives with her stepmother and 2 stepsisters. One girl's name is Gruffy, and the other one is Screechy. So you can imagine what kind of girls they were. Now, as our story opens, little Cinderella is sitting by the fireplace resting. She had a very busy day, cleaning the house, washing the clothes, cooking the meals, and she was so tired. There she was, dreaming of her Prince Charming. Suddenly, her dreams were interrupted by her stepmother and 2 stepsisters. Her stepmother walked over to Cinderella, shook her, and shouted,
"Wake up, you lazy child!
Oh, I must have been dreaming.
You're always dreaming. Did you wash the dishes?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you mend my stockings?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you lower the hem of my dress?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you scour the pots and pans?
Yes, ma'am.
And don't forget to get some lamb chops for dinner. Get some bones for yourself, you lazy good-for-nothing. We ought to feed you bread and water."
Just then they heard the town crier in the village square making an announcement. The stepmother and the 2 stepsisters opened the window and heard the king's messenger say,
"Hear ye, hear ye! Tomorrow night, in honor of the 21st birthday of the prince, the king and queen are giving a grand ball at the palace. All the young ladies in town are cordially invited."
Did you hear that, girls? Of course we're all going, aren't we?
"I wouldn't miss it for the world."
Neither would I. You can bet.
May I go too?
You foolish girl, what would you be doing at such a grand affair? You and your rags. What a sight. You would be the laughingstock of the whole town. Why, you would disgrace us all. Get such crazy ideas out of your mind and hurry up and get our clothes ready for the ball. Cinderella, you help the girls get ready. Understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So Cinderella went back to her room with her little kitty cat, 10 canaries, and 3 turtles. These pets were her very best friends. As she walked into the room, she heard the little pussy cat meow and say,
So sad, Cinderella.
Every girl in town will be going to the princess ball except me, kitty cat.
Oh, that's a shame. And you were so much prettier than Grumpy and Screechy.
Do you really think so?
Meow. I only wish I could help. Meow.
Don't worry, kitty cat. I don't know what I'd do without you.
All next day, Cinderella helped her stepsisters to get ready. But in spite of their fine clothes, they still looked ugly. The stepmother and her daughters went to visit a friend, and Cinderella was left all alone. Suddenly she began to cry bitterly and called for me. I was so glad that she wanted my help, because I can help her only when she calls me.
Please, fairy godmother, I need you so. Please come.
I am always at your command. What do you wish?
I want to go to the princess ball, but how can I go in these rags?
Don't worry, Cinderella. Let me touch them with my magic wand. See?
Oh, this is the most beautiful evening gown in the world. Thank you, fairy godmother. But what about these shoes?
Oh, don't worry. My wand will take care of that, too. See?
Oh, what dainty glass slippers. Let me try them on. They fit me. But how will I get to the palace?
Here is a big pumpkin from your garden. Now look, I wave my magic wand and see?
Oh, what a magnificent coach.
Now I'll turn your 10 canaries into horses and the 3 turtles into a coachman and 2 footmen. See?
Ooh.
Now you'll look like a real princess.
Oh, fairy godmother, I can't believe my eyes. Thank you so much.
Cinderella, let me warn you. You must leave the ballroom before the last stroke of midnight, or everything you are wearing will turn back into rags. Goodbye, and have a wonderful time.
Thank you, and goodbye, dear godmother.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
She's gone.
When Cinderella arrived at the palace, the ball was at the height of its festivities. The ballroom floor was filled with happy, dancing people. As Cinderella entered the ballroom, the dancers stopped dancing, The music stopped playing, and all eyes were centered upon her, especially the eyes of the prince. From the moment that he had first seen her, he knew that she was the one and only girl in the whole wide world for him. He bowed to her and said,
"Welcome to the king's ball. May I have the next dance with you?"
I would be delighted, Your Highness.
So the prince danced the first dance with Cinderella, the second dance, the third dance, and every dance for the rest of the evening. At the first stroke of midnight, Cinderella remembered what I told her. So she rushed out of the ballroom without even saying goodbye to the prince. She ran down the stairs, out into the courtyard, into her coach, and sped away. But in her hurry, she dropped one of her glass slippers on the stairways. Cinderella got home just at the stroke of 12, and the minute she entered the door, her clothes changed back into rags, and she sat down by the fireplace just as if nothing had happened. When the stepmother and 2 stepsisters came back from the ballroom, they were still raving about the beauty of the mysterious princess. Suddenly, the town crier made another announcement.
Hear ye, hear ye. The prince wishes to find the beautiful young lady he met at the ball tonight. She left behind a tiny glass slipper. The king's servant will now go from house to house until he finds the girl whose tiny foot will fit the slipper.
So the king's messenger went from door to door, but couldn't find the girl whose foot fit the glass slipper. The last house he visited was Cinderella's.
This is the last house. I do hope that the girl whose foot fits this slipper is here. Gruffy, let me try this slipper on your foot.
Ouch! It's far too small for me.
Now let me try it on you, Screechy.
It doesn't fit me either.
Please let me try it on.
How silly can you get? It's just ridiculous, simply ridiculous.
The prince has commanded every girl to try it on. Cinderella, let me see if this slipper fits your foot.
What do you know? It fits! It fits!
At last we have found the girl we have been looking for.
Fairy Godmother,
Yes, Cinderella.
I need your help again.
All right, I will help you again. Of course, no one sees me but you. So I will wave my magic wand and turn all your rags into the same beautiful clothes you wore last night at the ball. See?
Ooh,
I can't believe my eyes. Why, it's the unknown beautiful princess. Why, it's our own dear Sister Cinderella.
And here comes His Royal Highness, the Prince.
Cinderella, will you do me the great honor of becoming my wife?
Yes, Your Royal Highness. But may I please ask just one favor?
Ask anything of me, Cinderella, and it shall be granted.
It would make me very happy if Gruffy and Screechy could be my ladies-in-waiting.
Your wish is granted.
And I would like to have my stepmother live with them in a cottage near the palace.
Your wish is my command.
Oh, Cinderella, why are you so good to us after we have been so mean to you?
I have found so much happiness. I want to share some of it with you, dear stepmother, and with my dear stepsisters, Gruffy and Screechy.
I can see that with you as my queen, my people will prosper, and we shall live happily forever after.
And so, boys and girls, they did live happily ever after.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, never told a lie at all when it said that little Snow White was the fairest one in sight. Wicked queen, she was so wild, hired a man to kill the child. Such a doll no man could slay, so he let her get away to a little cottage, a charming little cottage. That's where pretty little Snow White went one day. Dwarfs who numbered 7 made her life like heaven. They filled her days and nights that made her gay. Did the bad queen just for spite try to harm our little Snow White? Just be patient, my young friend. Here's the tale from start to end.
Hello, boys and girls. I am a magic mirror, and I hang on the walls of a room in a beautiful palace. I am probably the only mirror in the world which can speak. But I must tell the truth at all times. If I tell a lie, my power to speak will be taken from me forever. I belong to a queen, a beautiful woman. But this queen is very conceited. She wants to be known as the fairest one in all the land. And she always asks me the same question.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?
Queen, your beauty is most rare. Yes, of all, you are the most fair.
Thank you, magic mirror.
Yes, this queen is the fairest in all the land. But her stepdaughter, Snow White, is a lovely child, with skin as white as snow, lips as red as the rose, and hair as black as the wing of a raven. Every day, Snow White is becoming more and more lovely. Several years have gone by. Here comes the queen now to ask the same old question of me.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?
Queen, indeed you are the most fair. Few with you can still compare. But fairest now is young Snow White, whose beauty well outshines the night.
That brat of a stepdaughter is fairer than I? I'll soon put a stop to that. I'll get a hunter to take her to the forest and destroy her. No one can outshine me. Hunter, Hunter, come here at once.
You sent for me, Your Majesty?
Yes, Hunter. Take Snow White to the forest and return alone. I'm sure you understand what I mean.
Yes, Your Majesty, I understand.
Now very soon shall I once more be the fairest of them all.
So the hunter took pretty little Snow White to the forest. And when the hunter reached the thickest part of the forest, he looked at Snow White and said,
Snow White, do you like this place?
It is pleasant here, but why are you carrying a gun? I hope you will not shoot at all those lovely creatures that live here.
I always carry a gun.
I wouldn't harm a fly. I love all of God's creatures. But why do you look at me so strangely? Are you pointing that gun at me?
Forgive me, Snow White, you're so beautiful I cannot do it. Farewell, dear child, farewell.
Why did he leave me alone here? How can I get back by myself? I'm lost. Oh, I'm lost.
So Snow White wandered around. Suddenly she saw a house.
What a quaint little house. It has 7 small steps leading to the main entrance, and it has 7 windows, 7 doors, and 7 chimneys. Nobody answers, but look, the door is open. I'll step inside to rest for a minute. Oh, how charming. There are 7 little bowls on the small table and 7 tiny chairs. Also 7 knives, 7 forks, 7 spoons, and 7 napkins. Oh, what room is this? It's a bedroom with 7 little beds. I'm so sleepy, I think I'll lie down for a few minutes.
Snow White was soon sound asleep. In a little while, the people who lived in the house came home. And as you've already guessed, they were all dwarfs. All 7 of them.
Shh! Shh! Wait! Someone has been here. My soup bowl has been moved.
And my spoon, it's out of place.
My knife's on the floor. Shh! I think I hear sounds in our bedroom.
So do I. Let's see who it is.
Well, what do you know? It's a beautiful little girl sleeping in my bed. Let's not wake her up. Too late. She's already up.
Oh, Oh, what lovely little men. I beg your pardon for entering your house without an invitation.
We love company. Nice to have you with us. Maybe you'll stay and cook for us.
And darn our socks and clean the house.
Oh, I'd love that. Let me introduce myself. I'm Snow White.
I'm Doe.
I'm Ray.
I'm Me.
I'm Fa.
I'm So.
I'm La. And I'm T.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Why, you must be musical dwarfs.
That we are. Will you stay?
As long as you'll have me.
Goody good.
So a number of years went by. Snow White was extremely happy with the dwarfs, and they adored her. Then one morning the queen inquired once more.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, am I still the fairest of all?
Queen, indeed, you're fair to view, but Snow White is fairer than you. In a forest far away, with 7 dwarfs, she's gone to stay.
So, Snow White is still alive. Well, it won't be for long. I know how much she loves apples. That is going to be her undoing.
So the wicked queen disguised herself as an old woman, and also disguised her voice. Then she took a big red apple and filled it with poison. When she got to the house in the forest where Snow White lived, she knocked on the door and said,
Little girl, do you like apples?
More than anything in this world.
Let me in. I have a great big red apple for you.
The dwarfs warned me not to let any strangers in.
Nonsense. Well then, open the window and I'll hand it to you. Here you are.
Oh, thank you.
You are quite welcome. Goodbye, my dear.
So the wicked queen left. Snow White took one bite and fell down lifeless. Soon the dwarfs returned home.
Ooh, look at Snow White. She's fainted.
I think she's dead.
She is dead. Oh, poor Snow White.
The little dwarfs were so overcome with grief, they decided to put her in a glass coffin so that they could always see her beautiful face. A year later, a handsome young prince happened to pass by on his way to the palace. When he came to Snow White's coffin, he was so overcome with her beauty that he cried out,
"What a beautiful maiden! Is the girl really dead?"
Yes, she's been dead for about a year.
If she were alive, I'd marry her today. What lovely red lips. I simply must kiss them. Oh, I think she's moving.
Her eyes are opening.
She's smiling.
She's alive.
This is a miracle.
Oh, where am I? Where am I? Oh, and who are you?
I am Prince Henry, and I'd like to ask for your hand in marriage.
Oh, but you must ask the 7 dwarfs. They've been so kind to me.
Yes, you may marry Snow White.
Thank you. But what about you, Snow White?
I'll accept, but only on one condition. I must have all the 7 dwarfs, Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, and Ti, with me. They have been so good to me, I couldn't get along without them.
Your wish is my command.
Well, then, I'd be honored to marry you.
So Snow White and Prince Henry were married. The next year, Prince Henry's father died, and Prince Henry became King Henry, and that made Snow White the queen, the most beautiful queen in the world. Oh, yes, they had 7 sons. And what did Snow White do? She named them Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, and Ti, in honor of her best friends, the 7 little dwarfs. And they all lived happily ever after.
Riding Hood, sometimes bad, sometimes good, met a bad wolf in the wood. So the story goes. Wolf inquired, going far. She said, just to see Grandma. Bad Wolf laughed, ah, 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 as his teeth he showed. Wolf got there before she did, planned a nasty deed. Tried to fool the little kid, but did he succeed? No, Little Red Riding Hood should have hurried through the wood. Trusting strangers is no good, everybody knows.
I'm an old grandmother. I suppose you have a grandmother too. But I'm a special kind of a grandmother because my granddaughter is Little Red Riding Hood. Now I'm going to tell you just how Little Red Riding Hood met the big bad wolf and what really happened to the wolf. One day on her 8th birthday, I bought her a beautiful red dress, pretty red shoes, and a lovely red hood. When her mother saw how wonderful she looked, her mother decided to call her Little Red Riding Hood, and that's how she got her name. One morning, I wasn't feeling too well, so her mother said to her,
Little Red Riding Hood, Grandmother is not feeling too well, so I wish you would bring her a basket of food and goodies.
Oh, Mother, I've always loved to visit Grandmother, especially now. I want to show her my pretty red dress, new red shoes, and this beautiful red hood.
You must go through the woods to get to Grandma's house, but let me warn you, they say there's a big bad wolf in that forest, so you must not talk to any strangers, especially not to him.
So my little granddaughter, Little Red Riding Hood, started out for my house, so happy and gay, for she always loved to visit with me. When she got to the babbling brook, she heard a low, rough, sneaky voice.
Hello, Little Red Riding Hood. How are you today?
That was the voice of the big bad wolf. When Little Red Riding Hood turned around, she saw it was the wolf, and she said,
Oh, you're the big bad wolf. My mother warned me about you. I can't talk to you. Please go away.
I'm very sorry that your mother feels that way about me. I may have a bad reputation, but really I have a very good character.
Really?
Cross my heart.
Well, I guess that it's all right for me to talk to you.
Where are you going with that basket?
Oh, I'm not allowed to tell you.
Are you going to your Aunt Mabel's house?
No.
Are you going to your Uncle Joe's house?
No.
Then you must be going to your grandmother's house.
Oh, how did you guess it?
You'd be surprised. Where does your grandmother live?
I'm not allowed to tell you.
Does she live that way?
No.
That way?
No.
That way?
No.
Then she must live that way.
How did you guess?
You'd be surprised. Well, goodbye, Little Red Riding Hood. I've got a date that just can't wait. Toodaloo.
Goodbye, Mr. Wolf. I think you're very nice. When will I see you again?
You'd be surprised.
So the big bad wolf ran towards my house. I knew where he was going, and did I take care of him? You'd be surprised. So Little Red Riding Hood kept skipping and hopping along the woods merrily. Finally, she passed a big pond when she heard a cheery hello from her friend, the duck.
Hello, Mr. Duck. Good day to you.
Where are you going?
I'm going to visit my grandmother.
Quack, quack. Be careful of the big bad wolf that's running around this forest.
I don't think he's such a big bad wolf. I just met him, and I think he's a nice wolf.
Quack, quack. Who told you that?
He did.
And you believe him?
Of course I do.
Quack, quack. You better run to your grandmother's house. Quack, quack, before the wolf gets you. Quack, quack.
Goodbye, little duck. I'll be careful.
But Little Red Riding Hood was not afraid. She was a brave girl. So she took her time and hopped and skipped merrily along. Then she met another friend of the forest. There, sitting on a tree, was her friend Polly the parrot.
Quack, quack. Hello, Red Riding Hood. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, Polly. Polly?
Where you going? Ah, where you going? Ah!
I'm going to visit my grandmother.
Ah, ah, be careful, be careful!
Of whom? Of whom?
The bad wolf, the bad wolf!
Why does everybody say he's a bad wolf? I met him, and I think he's a nice wolf.
Ah, ah, look out, he's a bad wolf, be careful! Ah,
Don't get excited, Polly Parrot. I don't understand a word you're saying.
be careful, be careful! Ah, ah!
I don't know why everyone's so worried. I'm not scared.
So the Polly flew away all excited. Little Red Riding Hood came to my house and expected to find me there. But it wasn't me at all. There in my bed was the big bad wolf, dressed in my clothes. You see, the story goes that the wolf ate me up and put my clothes on and got into my bed. But here's the true story. When Red Riding Hood came to my house, she knocked on the door and heard a strange voice saying,
Come in.
And so Little Red Riding Hood walked up to the bed and said,
My, what a low and rough voice you have, Grandma.
I have a cold.
Grandma, what big eyes you have.
Better to see you with, my dear.
And what big ears you have.
Better to hear you with, my dear.
And oh, Grandma, what big teeth you have.
Better to eat you with, my dear. Ah!
Just then, the wolf jumped out of the bed, and what do you think happened? He pulled a mask off his face, and who do you think the big bad wolf really was? Ha ha, you'd be surprised. It was me. I was the big bad wolf all the time, wearing a mask. I wanted to teach Little Red Riding Hood a lesson she would never forget. Never talk to strangers. And, boys and girls, do you know what? After that, she never did.